Pleasure isn't optional. It's medicine, it's healing, and you're not broken if you haven't figured it out. You are not behind. You're just learning a language no one ever taught you. The language of your own body. And trust me, it is worth becoming fluent. Welcome to Vaginally Speaking, where we stop whispering about vaginas and start talking about what we really want. And today, babe, we're talking about the big O. Yes, orgasms. The ones we fake, the ones we chase, the ones we wish happened faster, louder, and with more fireworks. So grab your wine, your vibrator, or both, because this episode is about how to stop faking and start actually coming. Here's the cold, hard truth. 95% of men orgasm during sex, but only 65% of women do, which I actually don't know how much I believe. I actually feel like that number is probably lower, but sadly lower, right? Because that's complete bullshit. That's not biology. It should be way higher than that. So let's throw in some facts. On average, it takes men 7 minutes to climax and have an orgasm. Females, it takes 40 minutes. Hello, disconnect, right? We need to figure that out, okay? And here's a little hint from that is only 18% of women orgasm from penetration alone. That means we need that clitoral stimulation. That's right. Only 18% of you guys listening can orgasm by only penetration. Okay? The rest of us, we need a little attention down on the clitoris. All right? Also, fun fact, the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings, which is twice as many as the penis. Yet we act like it's the backup dancer. Not the star that it is, so justice for the clit. AKA, if your man is listening, that is the star. That's the one we want to pay attention to. So why are we not coming? I think we could blame it on the shame that society has put on us and the bad sex education that we've had growing up. Okay, first of all, we weren't taught about pleasure in class. We were only taught about periods and pregnancy, and also barely any of that. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I still remember watching a VHS. Okay, and I feel like they're still doing that. And where do they even find TVs like that anymore? Because my children, we do have one, actually, a VHS TV, which is pretty cool. And they think it's literally ancient, which I guess it kind of is. But anyways, we shouldn't be using VHSs still today to teach about pleasure, periods, and pregnancy. Instead, we use such a fear tactic that you have sex, you will get pregnant. And for all those women that are struggling to get pregnant, my heart is with you, and you know that's not true, right? And you heard it through all of your sex education classes growing up. But let's get back to the topic, okay? So we were shamed and not taught. So I wish I remember exactly what ride it was, but when I was postpartum after our son, I was riding the Peloton, and I was riding with Cody Rigsby, shout out to him. And he said, I really don't know how Cody got on this, but he was talking about how we will go get a bikini wax or a Brazilian wax, and we will just let everything out and let people do what they need to do to get us all cleaned up. There's no care in the world, but yet we are terrified to know our own body. And that really stuck with me. Because it's true. Like, we'll go do all these things that we think we need to do to look good. Yet we allow the shame of society to tell us, don't touch your body. Don't have fun. You're a slut or a hoe if you have lots of sex. And this isn't for people to like take my advice and go do all these different things. I'm just putting out the facts that society has to take some of this blame of us not getting the orgasms we deserve. Okay. So why aren't we getting those orgasms? A lot of us have challenges relaxing. And you're like, what does that have to do with having an orgasm? Well, if you're watching this, and if you're not watching this and you're trying to visualize, when you are doing the deed with your partner, be it with a penis or a toy, whatever you are inserting, please don't put a candle in there, only safe objects. When you get to that point, some of you may have been like, I'm there, because to get to the climax, we contract. We're up here, okay? So any of you that are like, come on, let's have that orgasm. I'm there. Why the won't it go, right? It's because to actually have that, we have to relax, okay? And I don't know about some of you women, but adulting ain't all that sometimes. Like, there's a lot of stress that we got to think about and a lot of things that we got to do. And so I have a hard time relaxing. But if our nervous system is out of whack or in fight or flight, it's not going to allow us, right? If you are clenched tighter than the Spanx you're wearing, you're not going to get that orgasm. So what do I do, Allison? Great question. We got to breathe. And also, like, that's also bullshit advice, but it is true. We have to breathe. Okay. So I try to tell some of my patients, if it's going to take somebody a while to get to that calm state, even if they're like ready, they want to have it, they're enjoying their partner, but they just can't relax. We got to tap into our other senses. Okay. So maybe that means you light a candle. Okay. And yeah, that light can make it all nice and spicy, but I really mean like that smell, right? Can the smell help calm your mind and your body? If it can, if that's something that really helps you calm down, let's go buy a bunch of candles. Okay. And stock up because you're about to have tons of orgasms. If it's not that, and you're ready for some slow jazz, just kidding, but maybe not. Maybe that's your jam. If music sound is calming, then let's find what sound we need to have in the background to calm us, okay? If that's not it, maybe it's texture. Maybe we got to get them silky sheets or that heavy weighted blanket over top of you and your partner, right? Taste. I mean, you can do some tasty stuff if you want. I mean, I'd probably get pretty relaxed if somebody fed me ice cream in bed. I'm not going to lie, because that's like my love language. So that might get me to relax, honey. Anywho, so let's tap into those senses so that we can relax our mind so we can have those orgasms. All right. Okay. Now, if you're like, okay, Allie, I've got the senses that help me calm down. I'm ready for those orgasms, but I'm still having challenges. Well, let's look at the position, okay? We're going to have a whole different episode about pain with intercourse, but let's briefly talk about position. So we want that penis or that toy, whatever we're putting in, remember, safe objects with a wide end. You want it to go cleanly in and out. Okay. Well, some of our cervixes are tilted certain ways. Some penises are bent up and bent down, right? So we got to figure out how to match them up. So let's put a pillow on. If you're on bottom, let's put a pillow under your hips. Okay. If you're on top, put a pillow underneath him. If you're going doggy style, bend those knees just a little bit. So instead of it being a significant angle, it's slightly down. Now, some of you are like, absolutely not. This is what I like. Then do what you like. Okay. But some of us might need a little change. Going at it perpendicular can be a really great position. Okay. What else can we do? Right. Let's stop performing for our partner, stop fake moaning, and instead use your words like we tell our children, if you have some, use your words to tell us what I want. Tell your partner what you want. And if you don't know what you want, then sis, you haven't taken a tour of your own vulva with a mirror and some lube, and you're missing out. Okay? You've got to figure out what you like so you can tell them what you like so we can get the orgasms we deserve, right? Nobody wants to do the act for it to be boring and not beneficial for you. At least I don't. I want it to feel good, right? So take some time. It's not gross. It shouldn't give you the heebie-jeebies. And if it does give you the heebie-jeebies, we got other things to talk about, okay? Now, you don't have to take my advice with the mirror. Now, I think everybody should know what their vulva and vaginal opening look like. I mean, come on. But if not, just try and figure out what feels good. Or, like go watch Friends and they talk about like 3, 5, 7, 7, 7. And if you're not a Friends follower, then I'm a little disappointed. And I think you should go watch that episode specifically where Monica teaches Chandler what the good spots are. Okay. And you could probably guess what 7 is. Okay. And the 7 is the Clit Is Queen. External stimulation is the primary orgasm source for most women. Okay. And I think most women know that. Let me take that back. I hope most women know that. And they should not feel ashamed if they thought that they should orgasm with penetration alone. Because if you remember what I said earlier, only 18% of women can orgasm from penetration alone. Okay? So men, if you're listening, or women, pass on to your men. We need to pay attention to the queen clit. Okay? Show them where it's at. Don't be afraid. It's right here. Pay attention to this thing. Okay? Teach them how you want it touched. Okay? Teach them what you want to do with it. Now, there are also some different orgasms, which is we can have that clitoral orgasm, right? We can have that G-spot orgasm, nipple orgasm, or a blend of all of those. Okay? So, some people, things change. Okay? I don't know about you guys, but after I had my children, there was lots of different things that I did not care for anymore. And there are some new things I liked. Okay? And I didn't know until I knew. And my spouse certainly didn't know until I vocalized it. And in fact, he was very openly confused. And I don't blame him. So women, as much as we want to get mad at our spouses, if you ain't talking, then there's no reason for you to be mad. Now, if you are talking, you might have to figure out, maybe you got to make a visual for your partner. Maybe you got to write it down. Maybe you got to take the hand and put it right where you need it. Okay? It'll get better, but be vocal. So here's some homework for you. I want you to explore. Okay? I want you to figure out what feels good to you and then tell your partner. Or, you can even heat it up by having them hang out and watch you explore. You do what's best for you, okay? Or maybe that means you go and get a toy. We shouldn't be scared of them, okay? And I'm not telling you that you have to have a toy to get any of this done. Everybody to each their own, everybody to what they believe in and what they feel safe around, okay? So all of this is just me talking. None of this is medical advice. None of this is you have to do this to get XYZ, okay? But those toys, they don't have to be scary. Now, some of them big suction cup ones, those scare me, okay? Maybe you're for it, but those scare me a little bit. And I'm really mad right now at myself because I'm doing this episode, and just a couple weeks ago I was in Paris. And without knowing it, my mom, sister, and I, we were in the red light district and didn't even know it. And we got on the main road and it was all sex shops, all sex toy shops. And I'm not scared of toys. And so I was like, okay, wow. And in the first window I looked in, there was a hot pink Eiffel Tower dildo. And I am kicking my ass right now for not buying it because I wish I could show you it right now because that is hilarious. And then, of course, I made the joke to my sister of like the Eiffel Tower position, and she didn't know what that was. And my mom was standing there. So I wasn't going to explain it. So that felt really awkward. But anyways, you don't have to go into a giant sex shop. You can order on Amazon or go to a passion party. I think those things are absolutely hilarious. In fact, I'm part of a book club and we read a smut book, Pucking Around. Real juicy, okay? If you need some turning on, or some people thought it was turn off, but some turning on, read Pucking Around, okay? Anywho, I did a passion party for that book club after that book was done. And I thought it was hilarious. I told people, hey, if it's not your thing, totally get it. Totally get it. But they're so funny. So you should just go. All right. Moving on. Remember in the beginning when I also talked about how to relax, we have to just breathe? Well, I know it's bullshit advice, but it is real advice. Okay. We need oxygen to achieve orgasms, and we need to relax to achieve orgasms. Okay. So we need our mouth nice and open, not clenched jaws. And we need a nice relaxed belly. Okay. Shoulders down, relax, and tell your body to take over with those toes curled and that screaming firework. Okay. And if you're still not sure how to breathe, maybe give me a call or shoot me a DM and I can send you some breathing techniques. Okay. But don't suck in your tummy. I promise you, when you're doing the deed, your partner is not looking at anything. He is focused 110% on how that tip of his penis is feeling. And he is not looking at it. Don't be sucking that in. Okay. You're only doing yourself a disservice for something that men don't even care about. I don't know how many times I've heard men say, I do not care about rolls. I don't care about a juicy booty. Big boobies in my face. Okay. So let's stop worrying about it so you can enjoy. Okay. Also, if your man or partner using a toy is doing the right thing, okay, let them know. Moan louder, moan with directions. Yes, slower, more pressure right there. Don't move. And if they do, you might want to flick them a little bit and say, excuse me, did you not hear the direction I just gave you? Get back to doing what you're doing. But okay, but I'm not going to tell you how to talk to your spouse, so you do it how you want to, okay? So here's my tips. Buy the damn lube. Lube is love. Remember, slippery stuff, Uber Lube, or Good Clean Love. Those are my favorite. All right? Good Clean Love you can get in the stores. Slippery stuff and Uber Lube you can get on Amazon or online, okay? Vibrators are teammates, not competition. If you guys are open to toys, toys can be your best friend and make that sex even better. I promise you. You got that toy with the Clit Queen while your spouse is inserted, you're about to have the best blended orgasm you've ever thought you would have. All right. So this is for those busy people. This is a tip for those busy people or parents. Schedule the sex. Okay. Because yes, spontaneous sex can be nice and hot and whoo, we did it this fast or we did it this well. But if you remember my little fun fact in the beginning that's not very fun, is that men on average are aroused in orgasm in 7 minutes and females 40. So we need to have time sometimes for us both to have that orgasm. So if we schedule it, sounds like both of us can achieve what we want. Okay. So don't be afraid to schedule it. That doesn't mean you're old person. It means you're efficient and you know what you want. So take the pressure off of the orgasm goal. Focus on the arousal and pleasure. And guess what? Ironically, it leads to more orgasms. Hallelujah. Remember to relax. Don't clench. A tense pelvic floor is like a locked door for orgasms and they can't get through. Okay? And if I'm saying all this and you're still like, excuse me, I literally cannot do this. Don't be ashamed. Okay? But look up your closest pelvic floor therapist near you or give me a DM shout out. Send me something. I will keep it anonymous or send me an email. Let's figure this out because I promise you, it is not normal to not have orgasms. It is common and you are not broken, but please do not live your life without achieving those. Okay? Here's the truth. Pleasure isn't optional. It's medicine. It's healing. And you're not broken if you haven't figured it out. You are not behind. You're just learning a language no one ever taught you. The language of your own body. And trust me, it is worth becoming fluent. Sis, if this episode made you laugh, blush, or order a vibrator on Amazon, share it with a friend. Follow One Strong Woman Therapy, leave a review, and help me close the orgasm gap, 1 O at a time. Until next time, keep it real, keep it sexy, and keep it vaginal from the waist down. Toodles.